There's a reason you found this video. And it's not just curiosity. Something inside you, something ancient, silent, and rarely spoken, has been waiting. Waiting for a sign that the love you've been building yourself for actually exists. Capricorn, for so long you've believed that if you just kept climbing, if you just held it all together, one day, something or someone would meet you at the summit. But the world doesn't always reward the strong. Sometimes, it forgets them. You've been the backbone in everyone's story. The silent builder. The one who stayed steady while others ran toward chaos, or comfort, or false love. And in doing so, you've missed moments. You've sacrificed sweetness. You've hidden the most tender parts of yourself beneath layers of focus, logic, and armor. But something extraordinary is happening this August. Not just another shift in the skies. This is different. This is sacred cosmic permission for you to stop surviving love and start receiving it. The universe has been quietly shaping a soulmate path for you. One that doesn't ask you to become softer or louder or less focused. But one that honors exactly who you are, your depth, your devotion, your discernment. This video is not about fairy tales. It's about the astrological truth that August is awakening a love vibration specifically for Capricorn. One that is overdue, karmically earned, and cosmically supported. So stay with me. Over the next hour, I'm going to reveal 12 sacred reasons why your love story may finally begin or transform in August. And why what's coming is not ordinary romance. It's a mirror to your soul. Reason 1, the softening of the fortress. Your heart was never cold, it was just well protected. Capricorn, let's begin where it matters most, with your heart. You see, most people misunderstand you. They mistake your reserve for emotional coldness. Your caution for disinterest. Your independence for indifference. But you and I both know your heart isn't empty. It's a fortress, built brick by brick, not from pride, but from pain. And now, in August, something rare is happening. Saturn, your ruling planet, is in retrograde. But this time, it's not punishing. It's gentle. It's peeling back the outer layers you've constructed, the gates, the locks, the guards, to let something real in. This cosmic alignment is unlike others. It's as if the universe is whispering, you've proven your strength. You no longer have to carry love alone. You may feel subtle shifts. A thought of someone you haven't thought about in years. A softening during a conversation you would have once kept distant. The sudden desire to let someone see you, even just a little. These aren't random emotions. They are evidence that your inner world is readying itself not for distraction, but for recognition. For soul-level resonance. Let me tell you about Julian, a Capricorn client of mine from North Carolina. He spent 8 years building his real estate business from scratch. No time for love. Every connection he tried fizzled out, they didn't get him, or worse, tried to fix him. But last August, under a similar Saturn influence, he met someone. Not loud, not flashy, but someone who didn't run from his ambition. Someone who listened when he talked about legacy, not just feelings. And that was the beginning. He told me, for the first time, I didn't feel like I had to leave part of myself outside the door to be loved. This is what the softening brings. Not weakness, but readiness. If your heart has felt heavy lately, if you've been wondering why you're remembering old mistakes or regrets, it's not punishment. It's the preparation for love that doesn't just accept your armor, it walks with you through the gates. Crystal ball life lesson from reason 1. Capricorn doesn't need a partner to complete them. But they do deserve one who respects how far they've come to even consider letting someone in. August is the universe's sacred pause. Not to break your fortress, but to remind you that maybe, just maybe, you don't need to guard it forever. Reason 2. The Leo light that reveals your hidden fire. You weren't made to shine for everyone, just the one who can handle your light. Capricorn, most of the time you don't feel the need to be seen. You've learned that staying grounded, focused, and private protects your peace. But what if I told you? This August, you're not just meant to be seen, you're meant to be recognized. As the sun travels through fiery Leo until August 22nd, its light doesn't just illuminate the world. It illuminates you. And not the part of you that everyone already knows. Not the disciplined achiever. Not the strategist. Not the reliable one. But the part you rarely let out. Your passion. Your devotion. Your quiet longing to be chosen not for what you do, but for who you are. Leo energy is bold, daring, heart-led. And when that heat touches a Capricorn's careful spirit, something beautiful happens. You don't lose yourself. You remember a version of you that used to dream freely, speak from the gut, and feel things too deeply to admit. Leo helps melt the frost that life has wrapped around your emotions, but it doesn't do it with force. It does it with warmth. This August, you may feel a pull to express what you've been suppressing. A surprising urge to say yes to something or someone that doesn't fit your plan but feels right. A glow around you that others notice even if you're not trying. I knew a Capricorn named Dana, a teacher from Oregon, who had hidden her artistic side for decades. She told herself it wasn't practical. But during a Leo transit last year, she joined a local painting circle, and there, she met a man who saw her differently. Not as the structured, stoic Capricorn, but as the woman with stories in her eyes and fire in her brushstrokes. They've been together ever since. You see, Leo season doesn't ask you to change. It amplifies the parts of you that have been whispering in the dark. And those whispers, they're often what draw in the soulmate. Because when you glow authentically, not to perform, but to exist, the one meant for you notices. Life lesson from reason 2. The love that lasts doesn't come to find the version of you that performs. It comes for the version that dares to feel out loud. This August, let the Leo light in. Not because you need the spotlight, but because your heart needs a little warmth to bloom. Reason 3. Mercury in Virgo unlocks the words you never knew how to say. Your silence once protected you. But now, your voice will guide the right one home. Capricorn, let's be honest. Words have never been your favorite tool in love. You're the master of action. Of showing, proving, enduring. But speaking your heart, that's always felt exposed. This August, that changes. Mercury enters Virgo, a fellow earth sign, and suddenly, the very thing you've struggled with most in relationships becomes your quiet superpower. Emotional articulation. Why is this such a big deal? Because for the first time in a long time, you won't just feel something. You'll know how to say it. Virgo is precise. Mercury is expressive. And together, in harmony with your Capricorn nature, they unlock your ability to say exactly what you mean, without oversharing, overreacting, or losing control. You might notice you're finally able to tell someone why you pulled away, or explain what loyalty means to you, not in theory, but in lived experience. You find yourself asking better questions in conversations and listening more intently than ever. Let me tell you about Malik, a Capricorn civil engineer from Atlanta. He'd been single for 4 years. He said the same thing over and over. I just don't know how to connect emotionally. I'm too logical. But last August, during a similar Mercury-Virgo transit, something changed. He met someone at a coffee shop, a quiet poet who spoke softly and listened with her whole being. And to his surprise, he talked. Really talked. He told her about his childhood. About the pressure he puts on himself. He told me later. I didn't plan to say any of that. It just came out like the words had been waiting for the right person. That's what Mercury in Virgo does. It clears the static. It organizes your emotions into language that even you didn't know was inside you. And here's the magic, Capricorn. Once you say those words, the right person won't run. They'll lean in. Because your words, when spoken from truth, not fear, don't just communicate. They connect. Life lesson from reason 3. Vulnerability isn't recklessness. It's a sacred precision, revealing the right truth to the right person at the right time. August doesn't demand you become someone louder. It simply gives you the language to show the world and someone specific who you've been this whole time. Reason 4. The blue moon illuminates the love hidden in plain sight. You weren't blind to love, you just hadn't seen it under the right light. There's something mystical about full moons. They don't create truth. They reveal it. And this August, a rare blue moon in Aquarius rises on the 19th, casting a silvery spotlight across your 7th house of partnerships. Capricorn, this isn't just another moon phase. This is cosmic X-ray vision, finally showing you what's been right in front of you all along. You've been so focused on building your life, on climbing, structuring, surviving, that you may have overlooked something, or someone. This moon brings clarity, not confusion, not in the form of loud declarations, but through quiet recognitions. A casual acquaintance suddenly feels familiar. A colleague's encouragement feels more personal than usual. A conversation with a stranger feels strangely fated. You may not have expected it. In fact, it may not match your type. But the universe isn't matching your checklist. It's answering your soul print. And what does this mean? It means love might not come through grand gestures. It might arrive in a side glance at a bookstore, a shared joke at a meeting, a moment that should have been ordinary but feels utterly electric. Let me share Natalie's story, a Capricorn artist from Boston. She had a neighbor for years. Polite, quiet. They'd exchanged mail, nothing more. But under a similar blue moon transit last year, they crossed paths at a small local event. Something shifted. The conversation flowed like they'd known each other forever. 3 months later, they were inseparable. She told me, "I thought I needed to find someone new. Turns out, I just needed to see someone differently." That's what this blue moon brings, Capricorn. Not new people, but new perception. Life lesson from reason 4. The eyes of the soul see what logic cannot. And sometimes, what you've been waiting for is already waiting for you. This isn't about chasing. It's about recognizing. Let the light of this rare full moon lift the veil. And when it does, trust what you see. Reason 5. Venus in Virgo attracts the one who respects your essence. You don't need someone to fix you, you need someone who honors what you've built. Capricorn, you've always been misunderstood when it comes to love. Some think you're too cold, too calculated, too focused on success to care about romance. But the truth is deeper. You've simply never wanted a love that costs you your identity, because you've worked far too hard to become who you are. This August, Venus enters Virgo and something incredible happens. It aligns perfectly with your Capricorn energy. Why does this matter? Because Venus, the planet of love and attraction, in Virgo doesn't just bring beauty. It brings discernment. And for once, love isn't asking you to shrink, shift, or soften. It's asking, can someone love you exactly as you are? And the answer this time is yes. Venus in Virgo favors integrity over performance, stability over chaos, depth over flair. So instead of attracting people who are impressed by your power but afraid of your pace, you attract someone who sees your structure as sacred, who doesn't get intimidated by your goals, but wants to build alongside you. And they won't say it through flattery. They'll show it through attention, remembering the little details about your life, respecting your time and boundaries, matching your effort, not testing it. Javier, a Capricorn therapist from San Diego, told me this after meeting someone during a similar Venus in Virgo cycle. She didn't ask me to open up fast. She created space. And because of that, I wanted to open. That's what this influence brings. Not love that demands, but love that resonates. It's not grand gestures. It's in the tone when they speak to you, the way they don't interrupt when you're talking about your work, how they admire your ambition, not resent it. And for a Capricorn, that kind of respect, that's love. Life lesson from reason 5. Real love doesn't require you to perform. It's the quiet recognition of your true self and the refusal to look away. This August, Venus filters out the noise. Only those who match your rhythm will be drawn in. Let them come closer. And most importantly, let them see you. Reason 6. The universe rewards your emotional discipline. You weren't being difficult, you were being deliberate. And now, the universe is ready to meet you there. Capricorn, you've been told you're too picky, too slow, that your standards are too high, that you'll end up alone if you don't lower your walls. But what they don't understand is this. You weren't avoiding love. You were waiting for the right one because you know what it costs to invest your heart. And now, in August, the universe responds not with criticism, but with confirmation. Thanks to a rare alignment between Saturn, your ruling planet, and Jupiter, the planet of growth and reward, your emotional restraint isn't seen as resistance, it's recognized as wisdom. This isn't random. You've spent months, maybe years, walking away from half-loves. Turning down relationships that looked good on paper but felt wrong in your gut. That wasn't coldness. That was clarity. This month, the stars bring someone who doesn't want to rush you, fix you, or question your pace. They simply match your energy step for steady step. You'll feel it when they don't flinch when you say you're not into casual. They admire how seriously you take commitment. They show you, quietly, that they've been waiting too. Melanie, a Capricorn nurse from Chicago, shared something powerful with me. I was the last one in my group of friends to get into a relationship. But I'm the only one whose partner never asked me to be less serious about my dreams. That's what August brings. A mirror. Not someone to fill the space, but someone who respects how long you took to build that space properly. Life lesson from reason 6. Patience isn't punishment. It's preparation. And your discernment hasn't delayed love, it's defined its quality. So when someone appears this month who doesn't pressure you, who meets your eyes instead of your defenses, don't be surprised. This is earned love. And it knows exactly who it's looking for. Reason 7. Jupiter expands the vision of what love could be. You used to think love was a luxury. Now, you're learning it's part of the legacy. Capricorn, let's talk about vision. Not the 5-year plan. Not the business blueprint. But the unspoken dream, the one you rarely admit, even to yourself. To love someone who walks beside you, not behind or ahead. Someone who sees the world like you do, long-term, purpose-driven, soul-aligned. This August, Jupiter, the planet of expansion and faith, is opening a door in your heart. Not to fantasy, but to possibility. Jupiter isn't about illusions. It's about showing you what's actually available to you if you believe you're worthy of it. And that's where your shift begins. You've always prioritized what's practical. Career, stability, reputation. You've made sacrifices, telling yourself love would come later. Well, Jupiter says, later is now. This energy urges you to expand your definition of partnership. Not just someone to come home to, but someone to build a home within. Someone whose dreams don't compete with yours, but complement them. Whose idea of love isn't momentary, but monumental. Let me tell you about Andre, a Capricorn architect from New Jersey. He spent most of his 30s building his firm. Didn't date much. Didn't trust easily. But during a Jupiter transit 2 years ago, he met someone at a real estate summit. A woman who ran a non-profit. Different worlds, but shared values. He told me, she didn't just fit into my life. She made me rethink what I thought love should look like. That's Jupiter's gift. Permission to want more, without shame. To let your heart dream as boldly as your career does. Life lesson from reason 7. Capricorn doesn't fall in love with chaos. They fall in love with clarity. And sometimes, that clarity begins when you finally believe you deserve the kind of love you never dared to ask for. August invites you to imagine love that's not a detour, but a destination. Are you willing to expand your vision to include the one who's been waiting to walk that path with you? Reason 8. Career connections shift into soul-level chemistry. Sometimes, the person who respects your purpose ends up understanding your heart best. Capricorn, where do you spend most of your energy? Let's be honest, your work is your temple. It's where your mind sharpens, your discipline shines, and your value feels most clear. So it might surprise you that this August, love might not come from a dating app, but from a calendar invite. Thanks to a rare conjunction of Mercury and Venus in your 10th house of career, the universe is blurring the line between the professional and the personal. But not in a messy way. This isn't about office flirtation or fleeting distractions. It's about finally recognizing that respect is attraction and intellectual chemistry is romantic energy in disguise. You might notice A colleague starts asking deeper questions, not just about your work, but your why. A former collaborator reappears, and something clicks differently. A networking conversation turns personal in a way that feels unusually natural. This doesn't mean you'll fall in love with your boss. But it does mean that someone who's seen your drive, your discipline, your integrity, might start seeing something more. And you might start seeing it too. Take Elena, a Capricorn project manager from Phoenix. She worked alongside a software consultant for 3 years. Never thought twice. Until one late-night work call turned into a conversation about childhood, books, and dreams. She told me, it wasn't instant chemistry. It was earned understanding. And that kind of connection, that's the one I trust. This transit doesn't demand you break boundaries. It reframes connection in the places you've been most consistent, your work, your mission, your goals. Because for someone like you, Capricorn, love has to start with respect. And what better place to be seen than the space where you've always shown up at your best? Life lesson from reason 8. For Capricorn, love rarely begins with sparks, it begins with recognition. Not of beauty, but of substance. So don't dismiss the person who's always been around. Who knows how you think? Who's seen how you handle stress? Who respects how you move? They might just be the one who finally sees all of you. Reason 9. Fire and earth collide, creating magnetic balance. You don't need someone just like you. You need someone who sets your soul in motion without burning it down. Capricorn, you are earth. Solid. Steady. Intentional. You know how to build empires from silence and structure. But even the mountain needs a spark. This August, the universe offers you exactly that. A magnetic tension between your grounded nature and the fiery energy of Leo season. Astrologically, this manifests as a square between Leo's fire and your Capricorn earth. Now, in astrology, square sounds like conflict. But for you, it's chemistry. Not chaos. Not instability. But that delicious, slow burn energy that challenges and complements you all at once. You may meet someone who thinks faster than you're used to, laughs louder than your usual circle, moves through life with spontaneity you once judged as reckless, but now find inviting. You don't lose yourself in their energy. You expand through it. They don't destabilize your path. They ignite new direction within it. It's not about opposites attracting blindly. It's about energetic balance. Earth contains fire, gives it form. And fire awakens earth, gives it movement. Let me tell you about Noah, a Capricorn chef in Seattle. He met a Leo musician through mutual friends. He told me, she was nothing like me. But she pulled out pieces of me I didn't know still existed, and she never asked me to stop being grounded. That's what this fire brings. A partner who doesn't need you to be wild, but does inspire you to stop waiting for permission to feel alive. Life lesson from reason 9. The right kind of fire doesn't burn you. It warms the parts of you that life made you forget. This August, don't be afraid of energy that feels unfamiliar. If it's chaotic, walk away. But if it's exhilarating and grounding, stay a while. You just might discover a version of yourself that's been waiting for this very spark. Reason 10. Past relationship lessons are now crystallized into wisdom. You don't make the same mistake twice, because now, your heart doesn't just feel. It knows. Capricorn, you've never been the type to jump blindly. You observe. You reflect. And when a relationship doesn't work, you don't just grieve, you study it. This August, all those past heartbreaks, they finally start to make sense. Thanks to a powerful sextile aspect between Neptune and Saturn, your ruling planet, the emotional confusion of old relationships transforms into clear-sighted inner knowing. This isn't just hindsight. It's integration. That ex who ghosted you when you became too intense. Now you see, they feared depth. You were never too much. That situationship where you kept over-functioning, trying to prove your worth. You realize love doesn't require constant justification. Only alignment. These aren't just stories anymore. They're lessons you've embodied. And now, your heart doesn't just beat, it discerns. You might notice this shift when Someone new reminds you of an old pattern, but you gently sidestep it instead of falling in. You feel calm instead of anxious in a budding connection because you know what real resonance feels like. You stop trying to impress and simply observe who truly sees you. Take Gianna, a Capricorn creative director in LA. She dated a string of emotionally unavailable men in her 20s. But this year, when someone came along who mirrored her old type, she paused. And then she told me, "I didn't run. I didn't chase. I just watched. And because I waited, the right one showed up a week later, no confusion, no guessing." Capricorn, your wisdom isn't cold. It's earned clarity. You no longer confuse attention with connection, effort with alignment, chemistry with compatibility. And that's why this August feels different. Life lesson from reason 10. Love isn't just about the heart. It's about the memory of the soul and what it refuses to repeat. You're not starting from scratch this time. You're stepping forward with sacred knowledge. And when the real one appears, you'll know. Not because it's loud, but because it's right. Reason 11. Your personal growth has activated a higher love frequency. The love you attract now isn't about fixing you, it's about matching who you've become. Capricorn, while the world may not have seen it, you've been evolving. Not publicly, not with declarations or spiritual hashtags, but quietly in the spaces between decisions. In the way you set boundaries that once terrified you. In the way you chose solitude over superficiality. In the way you no longer negotiate with disrespect. And now, in August, the universe responds. The frequency you now live at will only attract those who match it. This alignment comes courtesy of a rare trine between Jupiter and your natal sun, while Venus activates your self-worth sector. Translation: your internal upgrades are now being mirrored in your external connections. You're no longer a vibrational match for the kinds of love you used to chase. And that's not loneliness, that's refinement. It's why the emotionally unavailable person doesn't even feel interesting anymore. The partner who would have looked good on paper feels strangely empty. The person who actually sees you makes you feel calm, not butterflies. Butterflies, Capricorn, were often your nervous system screaming, "This is familiar trauma." But now, what you crave is peace, shared values, alignment in the little things, not just chemistry in the chaos. Let me tell you about Jordan, a Capricorn UX designer in Austin. He'd been doing inner child work for over a year. Reading, journaling, healing past wounds. He told me, "When I met her, I didn't feel fireworks. I felt ease. And for the first time, I didn't mistake that for boredom. I knew I was finally ready." Capricorn, this is the gift of growth. Love doesn't become louder, it becomes cleaner, more discerning, more grounded. Life lesson from reason 11. The love that once eluded you didn't reject you, it simply wasn't aligned with who you were becoming. This August, don't be surprised if fewer people capture your attention. But one person captures your soul. That's how high-frequency love works. It doesn't come to teach lessons. It comes to build with you. Reason 12. You're radiating authentic confidence and it's magnetizing the right soul. You no longer chase. You simply become, and what's meant for you recognizes the glow. Capricorn, let's take a moment to acknowledge something sacred. You've spent years earning your worth through effort, achievement, endurance, proof. But now, this August, you are glowing not because of what you've accomplished, but because of who you've become. And for the first time, you're not dimming it. With the Sun in Leo activating your house of self-expression and Mars energizing your identity, you are finally owning your presence. Not performatively, but authentically. And this kind of confidence, it's not loud, it's not boastful, it's magnetic. People feel it in the way you say no without apologizing, the way you walk into a room like you don't need to explain your value, the way you laugh deeper, slower, not because life is easy, but because you trust yourself now. This is when soulmate energy responds. Not when you're searching, but when you're so rooted in your essence, only the right frequency can find you. It's what happened to Sophia, a Capricorn high school principal from Colorado. She spent most of her life leading others, but hiding pieces of herself in relationships. Until she stopped. She said, "I finally stopped performing tenderness. I started being tenderness. And the man who entered my life didn't fall for the mask, he fell for me." That's what this season is about. The partner who's arriving now, they're not looking for someone impressive. They're looking for someone real. And your grounded brilliance is irresistible. You've moved past needing to be chosen. Now, you're simply choosing yourself, and that shifts everything. Life lesson from Reason 12. True love doesn't rush toward performance, it drifts toward truth. And your truth is now undeniable. Capricorn, you don't have to chase love. You don't have to beg the universe. You just have to keep being this version of yourself, unfiltered, steady, complete. And when the one who's meant for you shows up, they'll already feel like home. The sacred closing message. You didn't come this far to question love. You came this far to finally receive it as deeply as you give it. Capricorn, if you're still watching, it's not because you're waiting for love. It's because you've already become the kind of person who can hold it without fear, without shrinking, without compromise. And now, the stars are rising to meet you. Let's remember what this August truly means. Saturn, your cosmic teacher, is softening the fortress around your heart. Leo's fire is melting the silence, revealing your hidden warmth. Mercury is giving you the voice to say what you've always carried. A rare blue moon is spotlighting the one connection you weren't seeing clearly. Venus is attracting someone who honors your essence, not your image. The universe is rewarding your patience, discipline, and sacred discernment. Jupiter is expanding your vision, giving you permission to believe love can be both real and yours. Even your career space, once separate from emotion, is blooming with unexpected potential. The fire you feared is now your complement, not your destruction. The past is no longer a trap, it's your map. Your growth has raised your vibration beyond old versions of connection. And finally, your authentic glow is the lighthouse for the one who's been searching for you, too. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be, because August is not just a month for Capricorn. It is a soul gateway. A cosmic green light. A divine response to every moment you chose integrity over instant gratification. Every time you held yourself when no one else did. Every time you walked away from what was almost right, knowing something greater was possible. Capricorn, love is not a reward for perfection. It is a mirror, and you're finally ready to look into it and see yourself clearly. Life wisdom from the Capricorn spirit. A goat doesn't climb mountains for attention. It climbs because it knows what's at the top. And now, so do you. The love that's entering your field isn't loud. It's not urgent. But it is true. And when it comes, it will feel like recognition, not revelation. Call to action, final lines, subscribe prompt. If this message stirred something in you, even quietly, don't ignore it. It means you're in alignment. It means you're ready. Subscribe to Zodiac Secrets Revealed. Because the universe never speaks by accident. And the next time it whispers, you'll want to be here to hear it. Let us walk this sacred journey with you. Comment below, let us know what part of this truth resonated most with your Capricorn soul. And remember, the stars don't predict, they invite. The question is, will you answer?